Fantasy Fuel is powered by Poll Sports. Get instant fantasy football advice through real-time polls by visiting pollsports.com.
Cards are dealt the other way now, and for the last time, no more shuffling.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Fantasy Fuel Shuffling the Deck. I am Tom Tuttle. Today we're going to be talking about a random player from the Arizona Cardinals. I'm not too keen on many of the players on this roster. I know there's a lot of hype, a lot of upside to some of these players, which that's fine, but I'm still kind of on the fence on what to think of some of these guys. So we'll randomly select a player, and we'll find out who it is, and we'll go with it. Thank goodness. Yes, that's David Johnson. This is the one guy I can actually talk about and feel good about. I did not want anybody else to be, honestly, I didn't want to talk about anyone else because it would probably mostly negative. Why? Because Kyler Murray. I hate to pick on him all the time because he could have a really good fantasy year. I don't know. He's just a rookie, and I haven't seen enough out of him to know that he's going to be stellar. He had one really good year in college, and that's it. All right, I'll try my best to stop bashing on him, but everyone seems to be expecting him to be something that we haven't seen. The rookie wide receivers would have been with a quarterback who's a rookie as well. So it's just kind of some inexperience. Even Fitzgerald would have a rookie quarterback, so you don't really know what to expect out of Fitzgerald this year. But David Johnson, I can get on board with him because I can expect more production out of him than last year. Or at least if I can't expect more, I can at least expect the same amount of production that he had last year. But he did a decent job, at least a decent job enough to where I don't think he'll get any worse. That's basically what I'm saying here with David Johnson. I think he'll improve in fantasy this year from where he was last year. Last year he had 940 rushing yards, 7 rushing touchdowns, 50 receptions for over 400 yards, and 3 more receiving touchdowns. At the very least, I don't think it gets worse. Why do I think he'll improve? The same reason I don't particularly like all the other guys on the Cardinals, Kyler Murray. Not because I think Murray is garbage, but because he's a rookie. I've said that so many times. But the rumors about this offseason adapting the style of play that the Kansas City Chiefs are doing, that's all fine and dandy. But you need a guy like Mahomes to do that. Is Murray Mahomes? Maybe. Maybe not. I guess that's pretty much where it's at. If he is not anywhere close to Mahomes, we can expect more David Johnson because in that type of offense, they do try a fast-paced type of thing to where a running back's catching a lot of balls. And I really think that that's going to increase if they're going to adapt that type of offense. Even if they don't, I still think it increases from where he was last year, especially if Murray struggles out of the gate. If Murray doesn't struggle and he lights the world on fire, like everyone seems to think, that's not really bad for David Johnson either. So I think either way, for David Johnson, it's a win-win. David Johnson is the one guy on this team that I can honestly say will produce. He is the safest player on the Cardinals by far. If you're going to pick somebody on the Cardinals, you might as well go with David Johnson because he is going to get production. And that's why I guess he's still going in the first round. I mean, I don't have any problems if you want to select him in the first round. Go for it. Sometimes I've seen him in the second round. It's not very often. He is probably like the fifth-ish guy taken off the board as far as running backs go. And I don't think it's crazy. I've seen him be taken second overall. That's a little crazy. There's a lot of other or at least a few other running backs that to me are in a completely different tier than where David Johnson is. But he's usually around the sixth pick or so, like I said. I'm just going to make a little prediction about what David Johnson is going to do this year because I do think that he will improve from what he did last year. My prediction is going to be he's going to have over 1,000 yards, which isn't much of a stretch from where he was last year. He only needs 60 more yards to get to 1,000. He's going to have 10 rushing touchdowns. Yes, I said 10 rushing touchdowns. I think this increases. I think they are going to probably start leaning on him a little more when or if they find out that Kyler Murray isn't Mahomes. And they're going to say, okay, we need to start trusting in our running game and be a little more balanced of an offense. And that's kind of what it is anyway, to begin with. And I think he'll have about 70 receptions or so with about 600 yards or so. We'll find out. I really do believe that them are probably the numbers that he's going to have this year. That's why he is still considered to be a top tier, not top tier, the second tier. He's still considered a top running back. He's in the top 10. I almost guarantee you if he finishes outside of the top 10 in running backs this year, I'd be disappointed. I would. I think that he is going to have that type of year. And I guess that's really all I have to say about David Johnson. I really do hope that the Cardinals put it all together and that Kyler Murray is going to be the savior for this team. That is perfectly fine in my eyes. I don't have anything against the Cardinals. I just need to see it for more than one college year out of Kyler Murray before I can absolutely say he's going to be a stud in the pros. All right. So, guys, if you're listening and watching on YouTube, please go ahead and subscribe. And if you're doing that, you might as well just click that notification bell as well, so that way you get notified of every episode we do. Don't forget about Pole Sports, guys and gals. Pole Sports is awesome. Go to polesports.com. Get your questions answered about fantasy football, your stardom, your sit-ems, all of your questions about fantasy football. I mean, you're not having stardom, sit-em questions yet. You're probably having trade offer questions and stuff like that. Go there, get your questions answered. Also, you can answer some questions as well. There's a lot of good things about this polesports.com that is going to come in to fruition soon. So stay tuned for some of that stuff. It's really becoming a good website. If you are listening, you can listen pretty much anywhere. Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all the places you know, Podchaser. We are pretty much everywhere. So go ahead and check that out. Check out John Eddie Jr.'s separate episode of Ride. He is doing individual defensive players. Really cool. Really awesome. You need that kind of stuff, guys, if you're in defensive leagues. Don't forget to check out Fantasy Fuel, our actual podcast where me and John Eddie Jr. team up and we talk about fantasy football. We've been doing a lot of rankings. Just the last few episodes have been rankings. And we are going to do a lot of episodes going forward. So, guys, check that out. It's going to be awesome. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. We really do appreciate all of you listening and giving us your feedback. It is like none other. Thank you so much. And remember to stay fueled up this fantasy season.